working. Letting me log in. All right. Okay, it's recording. All right, we are recording. All right, so thanks for hopping on tonight, you guys. I am just going to be sharing with you, and I don't have like a specific system in place, but I'm just going to be sharing with you how I run my business from my personal page. And I will preface this by saying that I am doing a lot on Instagram now as well. And I'm not going to doing over there because I did a call on that the other night. But I'm just going to talk about how I have built my business, because for the last, I don't know, 3.5 years-ish, I've been working pretty much just solely on Facebook. And I do have a like page, a business page, but I have never put a lot of money into it. I have never put a lot of time and effort into it to build up my following, so it has a very minimal following. And I've just always been really open on my personal page, and that's where I've gotten most of my business, so I just really have posted over there. So I'm going to talk about what I do, how I do it. All right, so first of all, I think the biggest thing is that you have to get over, like in order to run your business on your personal Facebook page, you have to get over what you are afraid people might think of you. Because the thing with Facebook is it is very personal, right? You know, you have a lot of people that know you, that have known you for years, they know your family, they've watched you, and all of a sudden you're going to start posting about your business. I was a person who was always open on Facebook. I shared my life on Facebook already, which is probably why Megan thought I would make a good coach. So I was already doing that. But you have to just get over your fear. And that is a whole nother call. But you've got to get over the fear of what people are going to think, okay? I am very clear that I'm running a business. I'm not trying to hide that on my personal page. I'm very clear about that. And I keep my page informational, fun, educational, and inspiring. And I just add a ton of it, and that is like personal growth and development and sort of a spiritual journey. That is, so I share a ton of insight into the books I'm reading and what I'm learning and my own growth and what I'm experiencing and how I'm applying it to my life. And that ties beautifully into coaching, right? Because I never would have had this transformation, and I never would have discovered this part of myself had I not become a coach. So that's kind of my niche. When you're using your personal Facebook page, you have to make sure that you are bringing value. Otherwise, your stuff is just going to become noise, and people are just going to keep scrolling. So you've really got to define your niche. And I think it's really important. I was doing a training in our Green Light District group today, and I was talking about how it's really important to sort of come up with your elevator spiel. Like when someone asks you, what do? I don't care if you're a nurse. I don't care if you're an accountant. I don't care what you are in your like day job. When you're in an elevator with someone, or when someone asks you out what you do for work, you need to have that less than 2 minute spiel of what you say. And your answer is always, I'm a virtual health and fitness coach, because you get paid as an accountant or nurse or whatever, regardless, right? You don't get paid regardless. You know, if you're not advertising yourself, right? So you need to get that spiel down. Like mine is simply, I'm a virtual health and fitness coach, and I work with moms and women to help empower them. We focus on fitness and nutrition so they can live their best life. That's super simple, right? It sounds like, wow, that's pretty cool. I want to learn more. So they start asking me questions about it. If you cannot tell someone in under 2 minutes, real quickly, what you do, you need to spend some time doing that. You've got to define your niche market, and that's going to help you. So that's like huge. And then I think it's really important too, as you're thinking about like your content and what you're going to be posting, that like I take pictures, and I'm sure y'all do too, but if you don't, like you need to. I set up like little mini photo shoots. Like in fact, I showered and did my hair today, and so I did a little mini photo shoot, because there aren't many days that I am like presentable like this. My hair is usually up, it's not curled, I'm not dressed, I'm in my yoga clothes, whatever. And so take advantage of setting up those little mini photo shoots, or taking advantage of like family outings and taking photos. Like my husband used to roll his eyes at me, and now he just knows, right? Like I'm gonna ask him to take pictures. In fact, we went hiking over the weekend, and there was a lot of really cool photo ops, and he was just like, "Oh, I thought you were gonna do a yoga pose on that one." And I was like, "Oh, well, I will. Here's my camera." So take advantage of those opportunities, because you're gonna need scroll stopping photos. Okay, I mean that's like social media 101, right? If you don't have a stopping photo, like anybody can post a sweaty selfie, anybody can post a flexy selfie, whatever. You've got to have pictures that are going to make people curious. They're going to want to read your post. They're going to want to know more. And then you have to be using captions that are going to make people curious. So like your first sentence or your first line of your post needs to be something that stands out, right? Like I made a post today, and I think it started with like, I was in a slump, and that's just something to draw people in, like, oh, well, I'm kind of in a slump. I'm going to read that. So you've got to be thinking about like captions that are going to make people want to read more, and like your post is really, really important. And then the other thing with photos, if I back up just a second, I used to feel like I had to use photos from today. Like I used to feel like I have to take a picture of my workout today and use that photo. And it was like stressful, right? And now I don't put that pressure on myself, because I take all these photos all the time and I just keep them in my photo library. And then I come up with my content first, and then I match it up with a photo, instead of having a photo that I feel like I have to use and then coming up with content for that. So I think a lot of people have that backwards. Come up with your first, and you can write content for like a week's worth, right? You can sit down if you're feeling really creative, or if there's some topics you really want to write about. You don't have to write the whole post, but maybe memory, and you can write a week's worth of content, right? And then you can pull from your photos, and it makes it really easy. You're not posting on the fly, which I think doing things on the fly makes us really unproductive and really inefficient, because we like get caught up in it and we overthink it, and then we get paralyzed, and then we don't do anything, right? So take those photos, keep them, save them, pull photos from a long time ago, like whatever. It doesn't have to be current. It doesn't have to be today. It can be from last week, last month, whatever. And come up with your content first, and then find a really catchy photo that you can pair with that content. That's important. And use pictures of your family, use pictures of your kids, fashion. Like you can kind of keep track of like which posts get more engagement, and then use those that people are engaging with. So if it's kids, then take a lot of pictures with your kids and use those. If it's your family, if it's fashion, whatever, use those. Post pictures that are going to speak to your audience, not pictures you think look good, right? You might think it looks good, but nobody else is going to engage in it, then it's not relevant, right? It's only relevant if people find it relevant. So it doesn't have to be relevant to you. Okay, so here's what I do to build my business on my personal page, aside from like the content and all that stuff. Okay, so the biggest thing that I do is I take a look at the friends that Facebook suggests I know or might like. Because usually Facebook is going to find people that you have similar interests with, okay? So you already have something in common, either a friend in common, a group in common. You were searching a page that's in common. Like Facebook has all these ways to connect people, right? And it's like the eye in the sky. And so I always look at those people and I just pick out quickly. I don't spend a lot of time doing this. I do it every single day. And I probably do it anywhere from, it depends on how much time I have, but it's one of those things I do like while I'm sitting in the car, or like, waiting for my kids to do something. It's not something that takes a lot of time at all. I literally just look at their profile picture. I don't even go to their page, and I look at them and I decide if they look like my avatar. Do they look like me? Do they look like the person I want on my team or in my challenge group? Like, is it a picture with their kids? You know what your avatar looks like. If it is that person, then I quickly take a look at like mutual friends, or make sure that they're not a coach. And then I shoot them a friend request. And you can tell all that really quickly now, just by hovering over their profile page. You can tell so much. So I look at that first, and that's how I build new connections, okay? New people to talk to. I don't send them a message. I just send them a friend request and I leave them alone. That's all I do. Then also to get new friends, I look at my friends' friends, so friends of friends. So I might go in and look at like somebody who's liking my stuff. I'll go in and look at their friends list, and I do the exact same thing. I look at the avatar, I look at the picture. If it's my avatar, if it's my people, I quickly figure out if they're a coach or, you know, someone else's, if they're mutual friends with another coach or whatever. I don't friend request them, but if they look legit, like somebody I could talk to, then I just quickly send them a friend request. And that's all I do. I don't track them, I don't write them down, I don't do anything. I just send them a friend request. And the cool thing is that Messenger now sends you a notification in your Messenger that says you are now connected with Jolene Smith, right? And so you can be like, ooh, I'm going to send her a message, right? And you can track it that way. So you don't have to keep track of like friend requests, because trust me, you are going to get a ton of people who never even respond, right? Or who say no or whatever. I don't keep track of any of that, like who says yes and who says no. I don't care. Don't have time to do that. So that's how I get new contacts. And then also, like, because we're into fitness, you guys probably see these too. Like, I see ads popping up for like Anytime Fitness or, you know, like, I think it's like Christina Abbott Fitness, or I don't know. There's all these like fitness up on my page, right, when I'm on my Facebook. And so I look at those ads and I look at people who are liking them. And if they look like somebody I would like, then I send them a friend request, because they're like liking these other fitness posts. Like Anytime Fitness is running like a 21-day challenge. It's like a knockoff of 21 Day Fix. I'm going to, of course, look at their ad and see who's liking and commenting it and find my avatar and send them a friend request. It's so easy, right? Now, those you have to like catch when they come up on your screen. So it's advantage of that. And I send them friend requests. And okay, so every single day, anywhere from 3 to 25, honestly. It just all depends on how much time I have car doing nothing or whatever. But I'm doing it every single day. Okay, so that's how I add new people. So now I allow those people to just like kind of be curious and see who I am. Like, who's this Tara chick, right? And I have like, if you go to my page, it's clear I'm a coach. It's to live their best life and manifest whatever. So it's clear that I'm a coach, right? I'm not hiding anything. I'm totally. If I weren't, then I feel like it would be wrong to go out and send all these friend requests and then, you know, be like, oh, join my group. But they have a choice. They have a choice whether to accept my friend request or not. So I don't feel bad about that, and I don't apologize. Every now and then I get a message saying like, oh, do I know you? And I just reply and say, oh, just if we might have some friends in common. I don't know if we've ever met in person, but I like connecting with like-minded women. Do you like to work out too? Some people are like, oh, I'm not accepting your friend request, and they send me a nasty whatever. That's fine. I don't care. Let them, you know, whatever. But most people don't say a single thing. They just like it or don't. Okay, so that is how I add new contacts. And what's really important, and this clicked for me, I don't know when, but it clicked for me, like I'm adding all these people. Now I need to make sure that my storefront, my window, is providing them value. Like, I'm inviting all these people into my store, and if I don't have something interesting for them to see, they're gonna walk right by, right? Or they're gonna like unfriend me, like, oh, I don't want to friend her, like she's trying to sell something or whatever, right? So I need to make sure that I am bringing inspiration and value, whether it's recipes or tips or, you know, excerpts from books that I'm reading, you know, whatever it is, motivation, workout videos, you know, whatever it is. I need to make sure that I'm bringing a ton of value to these people and that they see that, because otherwise I just am noise amongst all of their other friends. So you have to make sure you make that connect. You can't just be adding these people and then be posting mediocre content. You have to be really intentional with your content, or you will honestly just become noise. And if you're trying to speak to the masses, you will get lost and you will not speak to anyone. So really define your niche. I cannot stress how important that is, because once you speak to that one person, right? The one, I'm speaking to women who need to lose around 10 pounds. They want to lose their baby weight. You know, they're about my age and they have, you know, a couple of kids. And I'm speaking to this specific woman who is just like me, and I'm speaking only to her. Now, I still attract other people that fall like, you know, that shoulder that, right? But I'm speaking to that specific person because I know that that woman, like me, she's willing to show up and she's willing to work hard. I know these other people out here, they say that's what they want, but they really aren't willing to show up, and then they're going to fall off and they're going to cancel, and I don't want to waste my time with those people. This is the low-hanging fruit out here. You want these people because they're going to be the ones that stick with you. Okay, so be very intentional with your content. You guys, print your Facebook friends list. And I'm not going to tell you how to do that, and don't ask because you can Google it. Google it and print your list. I still have people that I have not connected with, and I've been coaching for 4 years. So when I hear new coaches tell me, like, I don't have anybody to talk to through my warm market, I don't care. I don't even pay attention to my warm or cold market, honestly. Like, I don't even know. I don't even care. I just connect with people through my Facebook page, and I have not run out of people because I'm constantly bringing in new people. And sure, I have people who unfriend me, I'm sure, all the time. I don't even know how many friends I have. I don't keep track. But my point is that I lost my train of thought, is that print your Facebook list, because you will find people that you're like, oh my gosh, I totally didn't even realize that was on my list, or I don't even know who this person is. I'm going to go find them, right? So print it and work from one end or the other and just start, you know, reaching out to those people. And I'll talk about messaging in just a second, but I don't want to get too much into that because I'll miss some other stuff. Okay, so you will definitely not run out of people to talk to if you are constantly adding new contacts. And if you print your Facebook list, you'll be able to use that, right, and plug those people into your tracking. The other way to find other people is because Facebook will serve you more content or content based on the thing. The only people I ever see are coaches. That's because you're only looking at coaches' stuff. You got to get out of Beachbody, right? And you got to go look at your friends who are not coaches, and you need to start engaging in some of their stuff. You need to start looking for things that they look for. And then Facebook is going to say, oh, these people have this stuff in common. I'm going to show her the content. Your content is then going to be pushed out to more people who you want it to be, more relevant people, right? If you're only engaging in the only stuff you're going to see, and that's the only your stuff. So even though you have all these friends, Facebook only pushes your stuff out to the people that, which means they will only send it to the people that you're engaging with and the people that are engaging with you. So I don't know, I'm being redundant here, but you have to not just be engaging with coaches, because otherwise that's the only people who are seeing your stuff. Okay, and I mean, the algorithms change, and I'm not an expert on that, but I do know that that's how it works. So when you're doing this, like, because you're running a business on social media, it's very easy to get stuck into like scrolling. And my suggestion is like, set a timer, and be super laser focused on what you're going to do when you sit down to do it, right? So if you're sitting down at your desk and you have 15 minutes, what are you going to do in those 15 minutes? Figure out what it is before you start, because then you'll be really focused. And if your goal is to send 25 coaching invites in 15 minutes, I guarantee you will get it done. If you were to send it, you will get it done in an hour, right? It's going to take you that hour. So just my point is figure out what you're going to do, so you're not like wasting time scrolling, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, 3 hours have gone by and I haven't even done anything that I wanted to do, right? It's social media. It's so easy to get sucked in, to click on this. Oh yeah, there's those lash things, or all the shiny objects popping up. Do not get sucked into that. Set a timer, be focused. This is work, right? It's not, I mean, sometimes it doesn't feel like it. It's fun, right? Okay. When I send friend requests, I should have said this earlier. So those of you that are, I don't know if Ashley's on this call, my coach Ashley, I don't see her. She's a big Haley Christian fan. Like, Haley Christian has this thing like, don't be a bitch, hit send. That's how I feel. That's what I say to myself when I'm sending friend requests, right? Because I know I believe so deeply in this product and what I do and what we do as coaches that I don't feel bad sending friend requests. So don't be a bitch, because if you don't send that friend request, you are potentially like keeping someone from changing their life, right? They may be waiting for you to send them a friend request or to send them a message. So don't not send it. Just send it. Just send it, and don't be attached to the outcome. It doesn't matter. Okay, so All right. I'm going to try to wrap this up here because I know we only have a few more minutes. Okay. So when it comes to messaging, because I know I hear so often like, oh, I feel so icky. It feels so salesy. Listen, you are selling something. It's going to feel like you're selling something. It only feels icky if you make it icky, right? So stop telling yourself like it feels salesy. You are a salesperson. I'm sorry to tell you, but if you don't realize that, then you're missing out on something really big. You are selling a product. You are selling a service. You are selling yourself, right? Yes, this is a relationship building business, but you are still selling something. And that's how your business stays alive. You can post content all day long, but if you're not connecting with these people, then your business is dead. It's not growing. Okay. So I send messages. So here's what I do. So I provide a ton of value on my page, and I am super uber authentic and very transparent, and I'm very obvious about being a coach and that I have something to invite to. In fact, I use call to actions all the time. You can go through my page and probably 80% of my posts have some sort of call to action, even if it's like not related to a challenge group. It just says like double tap if you agree, double tap if you're with me, or like this post if you're on a spiritual journey too, or you know, if this is something that's been missing in your life, like or comment this post and I'll send you some info, or let's connect, or I'd love to connect with you, or something. I'm asking people to do something because you want them to engage. Okay. So every single person that likes or comments on my posts, whether or not usually it has a call to action, I send them a message. And I send them a message that's very simple. I send them something that says, depending on the content of the post, it says, hey, thanks so much for the love on thy post. I really appreciate it. And if it's like it's about a workout, I'll say like, are you into working out too? Or do you like working out too? Or are you into health and fitness? Or are you into healthy living? Something like that. I ask some sort of question. And I find that the more I stay related to like health and fitness and like personal growth and coaching, that it's easier for me to come back around to an invite. If I start talking to somebody about, oh, I see you have 2 kids. How old are they? Where do you live? What do you do for work? It's really hard for me to come back and invite them because that's what feels icky to me. That feels real icky. Oh, your kids are so cute. Oh, by the way, do you want to join my challenge group? It's like, oh, do you want to buy these eyelash things, or do you want to buy these leggings? Like, no, that feels yucky to me. I mean, I'm not saying there's one way to do this. There's not. But what feels more natural for me is to just talk about what I'm passionate about. This is how I would do it if I were on the street with somebody, right? If I were in the elevator with someone, I would say I'm a virtual fitness coach. I help women reach their health and fitness goals and empower them to manifest and live their best life, right? And so that's what I talk about people with when I message them. So I like to go right in for the invite. I don't spend time like getting to know people right now. This is not the relationship part of my process, not anyone else's, and I'm not telling you that this is the only way to do it. But this is how it works for me because this is how I am in real life. I don't like time with people who I'm not genuinely interested in getting to know. I would rather I'm like a extroverted introvert, right? I like to be around people that I'm really interested in spending my time with, right? I'm very selective about who I share my energy with and who I allow into my life. And so I'm the same way with my messaging, right? I'm not going to waste time like talking about stuff that I'm generally not interested in, and I'm not going to waste their time. So I send really simple messages, either about coaching. Hey, is this something you could see yourself doing, or were you just being a cheerleader and supportive friend, right? Like I'm giving them an out if they were just being a cheerleader. Awesome. Thank you. I love you. And right. But if you could see yourself doing this, then let's chat, right? And I'm planting that seed. Like if I posted about coaching, that's something that I would say in a message. I come right out and I say that with my very first message. Thanks so much for the love about my post the other night about finding purpose. Is coaching something you could see yourself doing, or were you just being super supportive? Either way, I really appreciate it. I'd love to connect. You have great energy, right? And then all of a sudden they're like, is this something I could see myself doing? What is she talking about? Right now they're going to start looking at my page, digging through my posts. That's when all of a sudden you see like people liking your post from like a month ago, right? And you're just like, oh, someone's checking me out, right? So that's what happens. You're planting seeds, and then these people go and they look through your store, right? And then then that is when I start them, and we start going back and forth, and I start asking them questions, and that's when I start getting to know them. That's when I focus my time on my relationship building, and then I also build that relationship as they're a challenger with me, as they start coaching with me, I even further that relationship. So that's how I kind of do that. So all right, so let's see. Let me go back to my notes here. Oh, the other thing is that I'm just very unapologetic about what I do, who I am. I don't apologize for running a business. This is how I help support my family. Does anyone else apologize because they have a 9-to-5 job? No. I mean, they might not like it, but they don't say, I'm sorry, I have a 9-to-5 job, and I have to ask you if you're interested in signing up for this credit card when you check out. Like, no one apologizes for that. It's part of their job. It's what they do, right? So why should you be apologizing for running a business and making a living? You're getting paid for what you do, and there's nothing to apologize for that. This is how I help support my family, just like anyone else who has a 9-to-5. Okay, so I am just very unapologetic about that, and this is my purpose. This is what I'm here to do, and I'm very clear about that too, that I was placed on this earth and I have discovered my purpose through coaching, and it is now given me the opportunity and platform to connect with so many people and help them discover the same things about themselves, right? It's my responsibility to reach out to these people who I am now inviting into my life, right? Like I said, I want you in my life, come into my circle, right? So it's my responsibility. Otherwise, what I'm saying to people is like, your goals just aren't important to me, right? Or your life doesn't matter to me. I've invited you in. Why would I now say like you're not important? That's what I'm saying if I don't message them, right? So, and then that goes to like follow-ups and all that, which again, another call. All right, so find your niche, speak to those specific people. You will find a very common thread in my messages. It's very inspirational, very motivational, very spiritual, very yeah, all of that. That's who I am, and that's what all my posts are about, whether it's fitness, whether it's a book I'm reading, or whatever it is. That is it. And then just messaging every single person who likes or comments. And then if I really need people to talk to, what I will do is I will go back and look at those people that Facebook Messenger said, you are now connected with so-and-so. I'll go in and I'll look at those new friends and say, hey, thanks for the connection. Are you into healthy living too? Or I really appreciate connecting. You know, and I'll just ask them a question. And it's usually something about health and fitness, or maybe I've posted a recipe, like, are you into healthy recipes too? Or, you know, something like that. And then the other thing I want to say, and I promise I'm going to wrap this up, is keep posting no matter what, okay? Now, if you had a storefront that were open, like a brick and mortar storefront, and you didn't have a couple people come in for a couple of days, and actually Megan, this is a really good example. Megan just opened a brewery, and she made this post in her personally sponsored page, and she said, we just opened a brewery, and summer is our busiest time. And a lot of businesses in her area, because it's kind of a touristy, beachy area, I think, they close in the wintertime. And it's kind of like the Wisconsin Dells. If you're in Wisconsin near me, everything shuts down in the winter, right? And they're not. They're going to stay open because they'll be the business that everyone will go to because they're open. When everyone else is closed, they're leaving money on the table. If they were to close their doors, they were literally leaving money on the table. Like, why would you do that? Why, if you had a brick and mortar business, would you say like, oh, people haven't come in for the last couple of days, I'm just going to close shop early today? You can't do that, right? Well, your Facebook, Instagram, whatever, your Facebook, your stories, your Instagram stories, that's your brick and mortar. That is your store. You cannot close shop just because no one liked your post today. Like, stop being so selfish and thinking that everyone's waiting for you to post. Like, here's the thing. I used to think this, like, oh my gosh, no one liked that post. Should I delete it? Oh my gosh, I thought that was going to do really well. And then I would be like, ugh, now I feel like people are judging me because they don't like that post, right? And it's so easy to get in that mindset, but here's the thing. Facebook didn't think your content was relevant. That's all that happened. So it's fine. You had something to say. You said it. It doesn't matter if anyone likes that post or not. Sometime it's going to get seen. And even if it doesn't, it's out there. You said it. You put that energy and that love out into the universe, and that will come back to you tenfold. So no matter what, even if people aren't liking your stuff, keep posting. Now, I will back up a second and say, if people consistently are not liking your stuff and you're not getting engagement, then you might need to reflect a little bit and think about the message that you're sending and who you are talking to. It's probably like that your message is too broad and you're trying to reach too many people, and you really need to narrow it down, figure out who your target audience is, and start talking to them and only them. All right. And then I guarantee people are going to start liking your stuff, because Facebook is going to say, like, oh yeah, these people are going to like that. But when you're trying to talk to the masses, Facebook is like, I don't even know who they're talking to. I don't even know who to push this out to. Right? Because it's just too broad. So make sure your message is on point. Okay. But keep posting, be consistent, because I can tell you that I've had people come to me after a year who I never knew were even on my radar. They were not even on my radar. And they've said, I have been watching you and I am kicking myself for not joining you sooner. What do I need to do? And those are the people that are like, here's the link. They're like, I'm signed up. Tell me what to do. Right? And then they're like lifers, because they've been watching you. They've seen how consistent you are. They've seen you show up day in and day out, no matter what. And they've seen you go through times, and they've seen how coaching and your health and fitness and what you're doing helps you get through those hard times. And you are the voice of reason. You are the voice of inspiration. You are the voice of motivation. You are the post that they come to Facebook and say, like, I wonder what Tara's talking about today, right? You're that person for them. And so they're watching you. So make sure you're impacting people. That's what you're doing. You are impacting people when you are posting. So make sure that you keep posting. I post on my Facebook page twice a day, and I try to post on Instagram twice a day, sometimes once. It depends on what I have to say. It depends on what I have planned. And it depends on what photos I have and what's going on in my life. So at least once a day on Instagram, and twice a day, like in the morning and in the evening on Facebook. And please pay attention to the times of day that you post. Play around with it a little bit if you need to. I definitely, like today, I posted really late, and I know better. Like nothing happens to my post if I post it after like 10 o'clock. I need to post in that window of like 7 to 9 a.m. Otherwise, nobody sees it. It's junk. And I might as well just delete it and save it and post it later for another time. So, make sure you're paying attention to the times of day that you're posting, and don't just post to post. If you miss your window, just, I don't know, maybe not bother. Just wait until the evening post and post something then, because it's kind of a waste. But make sure you're consistent. Make sure you're sharing your journey, right? That's like coaching 101, right? Be a product of the product. Share your fitness, share your shakes, share all that stuff without being salesy. Just create curiosity, right? I've become like this green smoothie queen, right? People message me constantly asking for my green smoothie recipes. And it's just because I post green smoothies all the time. And it's an easy way for me to talk to people about Shakeology. So, and I don't even use Shakeology in all of them, but I talk about it anyway. So, you got to be sharing your journey. You have to be, and I want to say this really quickly. If you're only talking about health and fitness, then you are only going to attract people who are either into health and fitness, or who want to lose weight or get healthy or get in shape, right? You are not necessarily going to attract people who are going to make good coaches. So if you're in this, and you are because you're on this call, if you're in this to grow your business and move it further and build a business, right, and be successful at this, then you have to be talking about coaching. You have to, okay? There is no other way around it. You have to be talking about coaching multiple times a week. I use my Facebook page as like a blog, journal entries, and I weave coaching into almost every single thing that I do, because it is part of everything I do. The time I have with my kids, the meals I make, the workouts I do, right? It's all part of coaching. So there is somehow, like when I'm going to get a manicure, right? It's all related to coaching. So there's always a way for you to tie coaching in. It doesn't have to be about finances. It doesn't have to be money focused at all. You can talk about how coaching has changed your mindset, or your ability to deal with hard things, or maybe you've been through a divorce and without coaching it would have been a lot harder, or whatever it is. You can weave coaching into that. If you are not talking about building a business, you're not going to attract business builders. That is like something that Elizabeth Hartkey said at my last Super Saturday. I was like, like light bulb, right? Like I was like, she said, anybody in the room ever say this to yourself? Man, I have no problem filling my challenge groups, and I can hit Success Club, no problem. Hands down, every month, no problem. But I cannot, for the life of me, find coaches who want to work. And I was like, that is so me. like I had these high success club numbers, but I can't find coaches who want to do anything. And then she started talking about the difference. You are either attracting fitness people who are going to be part of your challenge groups, or you're going to attract business builders. And if you want to be attracting business builders, you have to be talking about the business. So you've got to be, I'll go on my Instagram stories and be like, I'm about to invite 10 people to join my team. Are you going to be one of them? I literally talk about, I just sent 50 messages to people who have been loving on my posts and want to join my next boot camp. I talk about what I do because I want people to know this is what I do as a coach, so that it's not, like, well, what is it that you do, right? I mean, they're still gonna have questions, but you got to be talking about the business and what you do. I take pictures sitting at my desk, right? And I put it in my stories and I post about it. I post about how, yeah, sometimes coaching takes me away from my kids, but it's by choice, right? It fits into my life, not the other way around. So you've got to be talking about coaching. Okay, use your Facebook like a blog or a journal entry. Share insights into your life. Give people snippets into your life. Talk about how coaching and health and fitness has impacted and changed your own life, and how you approach life now. All right, so like how you were then and how you are now. That's how you can talk about coaching. It can be money, it can be mindset, it can be a transformation. You don't have to have a major physical transformation. I'm one of those people that hasn't had a major physical transformation, and I still have built a successful business. So don't use that as an excuse. All right, so that is, I made it through my notes, and I know we're a little bit over here. I want to look at the questions really quick. Okay, so Megan, yes, I take all sorts of pictures and save them for different times depending on what I talked about recently. Yes, I love that. Take mini photo shoots. I literally set up my lights and I put my camera in my tripod and I just snap a bunch of photos. Becca, love that mindset. Good. Okay. All right. So this is recorded. So for anyone who missed it, if you have questions, you can message me or just post them in Sweat Society and I will answer them. I am an open book. And I'm happy to answer any questions. Monica, do you send messages to people who follow you on Instagram? I do, new followers. So I go through, oh, hang on. Where do you find inspiration for posts? All of my inspiration for my posts comes from my personal development. Yeah. So I do a lot. So Megan is asking that. I do a ton of reading. I'm obsessed with personal growth books, and I probably am reading 4 at a time. Literally, I'm not lying. I would show you my Audible list, and I probably have, it's crazy. I read books. Any free time that I have, I'm listening to Audible books in the car while I'm walking around. I mean, so I'm reading books like, this is what's on my Audible list. A Tribe Called Bliss is what I'm currently obsessed with right now. The Happiness Advantage, Judgment Detox, Claim Your Power, actually finished that one a while ago. The Desire Map Experience, Girl Wash Your Face, Mastering Your Mean Girl, The 4 Agreements, Kick Ass with Mel Robbins. That's all that's showing on here. But those are just some. That's just my thing. It keeps me like so on fire and so passionate. So I just keep reading them. That's where my inspiration comes from. And I take little paragraphs and I just kind of put them in my own words and then I write a whole post about it. So it keeps it really easy. I don't even have to come up with a lot of my own stuff. Okay, so Monica's asking, do you send messages to people who follow you on Instagram? I do. So any new followers, anyone who's following my stories, I send them messages and it's very simple. It's like 1 or 2 lines. It is like, hey girl, thanks for the connection or thanks for the follow. I love connecting with like-minded women. Are you into health and fitness too? Or, something like that. I'll kind of take a look at their page on Instagram. My issue with Instagram, like coming from Facebook, is a lot of my Facebook friends are now like my Instagram followers and they don't have the same name on Instagram. So I've messaged some people and they're like, oh yeah, I work with so-and-so and I'm in your group. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then I kind of look like an ass. But like people have different names on Instagram. So it's hard to like decipher who's who. But yes, I do. I send messages to all those people and my stories. Like if I do polls, I message all those people. Like even if they say like, no, I do a lot of polls in my stories. Like, and I know Megan mentioned that on her call about Instagram. And that's just a good way to get people to engage. Like, do you struggle working out on Mondays? And I'll put like, yes Or I put like, I love Mondays, and then like Mondays, how about every day, you know? And then I message all those people, because like the people who say Monday or the people who say every day, I'm like, well, you should join my virtual boot camp. And I literally will say that. My message to them is like, hey, thanks for voting on my poll, or I saw your vote on my poll about how you struggle to work out. You should totally join my virtual boot camp. And I leave it at that. I'm planting a seed, I'm creating curiosity, and more times than not, they're like, what's that, right? Or yeah, girl, send me info. And it skips like all the nonsense. It skips all the stuff, like all the stuff that I don't have fun doing, right? So you got to do you. Do it however works for you. Any other questions, you guys? I talk really fast because I have like so much I want to share, so I'm sorry. But it is recorded, so you can go back and listen and take notes. All right, this was awesome. Thank you. All right, well, thank you so much, you guys. I don't want to keep you any longer because I did go over. Thanks so much for hopping on. You guys have a great night, okay? If you have other questions, just message me. All right, bye, guys.